Hi, hello, namaste. A very warm welcome to bio classes. So in the previous class already we have completed the human genome project, HGP, human genome project. We observed what is the aim of that project and what are the objectives of that project, methodology of that project, and also very important, we observed the salient features of a human genome, and the last one 2-3 applications we observed regarding that project. So by continuing that project, that means it's one major application part. So from this class onwards we need to look at that application part, the major application of a human genome project. So one revolutionary application that we are having from this project, that means after sequencing the total human genome, and most of the times we have heard this one. So the very interesting application, so that is DNA fingerprinting. So very interesting one. Yes, DNA fingerprinting. Yes. So this is on a recent technology actually. Which technology? DNA fingerprinting. So here the DNA fingerprinting, let us split the words and let us observe in the general. So it's a sense in the general. DNA, as already we know, by using that DNA, by using that genetic material, by using that macromolecule, by using that DNA, we are going to take a print, and that print, it is a unique from person to person. That print is unique from person to person. Now here, before going to that one, let me focus on this term, fingerprinting. Let me focus in general, fingerprinting. Fingerprinting. Say for example, so most of the times we will give our fingerprint. That means who is unable to write, so they will give the fingerprint, thumb impression, or not only that fellow, so anyone nowadays for all the features, for all the securities, we need to have the thumb impression, fingerprint, right? Biometry is there. So we can keep our phone lock. That means if you want to unlock the phone, means we need to give our thumb impression or anyone finger impression, that is a fingerprint, right? Instead of signature, this is the more reliable, thumb impression or fingerprint. So we have heard this term, fingerprint. Why this fingerprinting is combined with this DNA term, right? And before going to that one, let me talk in general. In order to understand this concept, in order to make to understand this concept, let me talk generally. So here they will take a thumb impression, right? That means this thumb impression, what they have taken, this thumb impression of one person cannot match with another person. The thumb impression of one person cannot match with another person. Not only thumb impression, all the fingerprints. So those fingerprints, say for example, right now I am 10 fingerprints, 1 2 3 4 5, 10 fingerprints I am having. Fingerprint means this portion printing. So 10 fingerprints cannot match with any fingerprints of other person in this entire world. That means fingerprints are unique. And how those are unique means, see here in the thumb, if I consider this portion here, upper side, so we can observe lines, we can observe circles, small lines. So yes, so that line, those lines are different from person to person in this world. So for example, two persons may be having the same number of circles, but circle's shape, curvature of the circle cannot match. or two persons that the curvature of the circle may be matching, but the number of those circles or lines cannot match. That means, so this fingerprint is unique from person to person. This is the thing, right? Hence they are going to take the fingerprint. This is the very security, right? In the same way, DNA of one person genetically cannot match with the DNA of another person, right? DNA of one person genetically cannot match with the DNA of another person, or any other person in this world cannot match. Why? Because just I told you, 99.9% of DNA base pairs are similar in all human beings in the entire population. In all human beings, 99.9% base pairs, that means that sequence is same. So in the previous class I mentioned that point. But 0.1% of DNA sequence cannot match. So that is different from person to person. So that we will call it as a variation. So from every person to person, why one person cannot look like another person means that variation is there. That variation is because of difference in 0.1% DNA. Now we need to concentrate on that 0.1% DNA. If 0.1% DNA is cannot match with another person means, so that 0.1% sequence we need to match or we need to differentiate among other people, right? Then we can easily identify the suspect person. Okay, let me tell you how it is. See here, usually most of the times DNA fingerprinting will be done at the crime spot. So that means in order to find out the person who has made that crime. Say for example, a person has been killed. That means a murder. That means at one place there is the murder over. So that means one person has been killed by another person, but we don't know who is the murderer, right? But the police can suspect. Police can suspect one person. That means he might have done that murder. But thing is, there is no evidences. There is no any evidences. There is no any proof. Then we can get the proof biologically. That is by this method, DNA fingerprinting method. That means we can identify the person who has made that crime. That means from the crime spot, the police or doctors, whatever whoever he is, so he will collect the body samples. Body sample means he can collect the skin sample, he can collect the semen sample, he can collect the hair sample, he can collect the blood sample, he can collect the saliva sample. So any biological sample that the police are getting at that crime spot, they are collecting that one. That means that sample is nothing but that is a cell. So inside the cell they are going to take out the DNA, isolation of DNA. So that DNA they are going to match with the DNA of a suspect. So they are going to suspect one person. That means that person has made that crime. So from that person also they are going to take the biological sample. From that biological sample they are going to take out the DNA. This DNA, both are going to match. They are going to match both the DNAs. If both the DNAs are matched, not total DNA, that 0.1% DNA. That means small amount of the DNA they are going to match. If the match is perfect means, then they are going to tell, then they are going to identify that person has made that crime. If there is no matching means, then they will go for next option. Why? Because this DNA, 0.1% DNA cannot match with any other person in this world. That means if it is matching means that person has made the crime. They will suspect easily. That is one thing. And second thing, so this DNA fingerprinting can be used when they are going to find out the biological relation between the parents and the children, or parents and baby. So at that time, or else in other cases also they are going to use this the DNA fingerprinting technology. So very interesting one this is, how they are going to do that one. But thing is very technical it is, right? So let us make it two parts. So in the first part today, let us observe some basic concepts related to this technology, some basic terms. After understanding the basic terms, In the next class, let's go the steps of the DNA fingerprinting, how they are going to do that one. So let me consider here DNA fingerprinting. So what is the total length of our DNA? 2.2 meter DNA. 2.2 meter DNA means total how many base pairs we are having approximately? Let us consider 3.3 actually. Let us consider 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. That means 3. That means how many base pairs? 3 into 10 to the power 9 number of base pairs, that total DNA we are having. And already we know one point, that is 0.1% of DNA shows variation. So that means 99.9% of DNA matching. Yes, what it is? 99.9% of DNA is matching with all the members in the entire human population. 99.9% DNA sequences, DNA base pairs are matching with all the members. Then what is the change here? 0.1%. Then 0.1% out of 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, 0.1% means how many base pairs? So that is 3 into 10 to the power 6 base pairs. Right? Let me write. Yes, these many number of base pairs. How many? 30 lakhs. 30 lakhs base pairs are different from, that means that 30 lakhs base pair sequence is change from person to person. Now if 30,000 base pairs, that means 0.1% base pair, if this is also matching with another DNA means, then it indicates both the DNA samples are same. Then they can easily identify on that basis. So this is the thing. But how we are saying right now, this is not that much of easy. It is a very complicated process. Now next question will be arised. Okay, 0.1% of DNA cannot match. Then in that total 2.2 meter DNA, where that unmatching sequences are present, where that 0.1% of DNA, that means unmatching DNA sequences are present, that is the next question. But here that 0.1% are these many number of base pairs which cannot match with other DNA. That DNA, this much of DNA we need to separate. So if you separate that one means, then half of the DNA fingerprinting technology is over. Half of that method is over. Now where we can get such kind of things here? Yes, before going to that one, today in this class regarding this method, let us observe 4 terms majorly here. So the first one, repetitive DNA, as already we have heard this term. Second one is satellite DNA. Second one is satellite DNA. And a third one, very interesting one, DNA polymorphism. And a fourth one, VNTR. Okay, today let us consider these terms properly. If we get the idea of these terms, what actually these terms are, then easily we can understand what actually that DNA fingerprinting is. Now the first one, repetitive DNA. Which DNA? Repetitive DNA. So already I have told this regarding this one, repetitive DNA. So before going to that one, let me consider the DNA, right? In this DNA there are many base pairs, okay? So many base pairs are present in the DNA, right? Now let me write the base pairs. Let us consider base pairs. First one, A, T, T, C, G, G, A, T, T, A. I am not writing any one fixed order. Randomly I am writing just T, T, A, G, G, C, T, T, A, C, G, A, G, C, T. Now I have written like this, right? Now this complementary T, A, G, C, C, T, A. Yes, next one A, T, A, T, C, C, G, A, T, T, G, C, T, C, G, A. Right? Now I have written a sequence of DNA. Imagine, now let us consider this as a big piece of the DNA here. In this DNA, some base pairs are repeated on and on, right? Now let me consider TAA, next TAA, next TAA, next TAA. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times the same sequences are repeated. How many times? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times this sequence TAA, 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 like that. So the number of repeats are 4. Then we will call it as a copy number. So here the copy number is 4. 4 times the same sequence is repeated, right? This kind of DNA, in the total DNA, we will refer it as repetitive DNA. So what type of DNA that is? Repetitive DNA. And repetitive copy number is 4 here. That means it may be 100, it may be 1000, it may be millions together. So those many times it may be repeated. But thing is that repetitive DNA cannot work. That means that repetitive DNA is transcriptionally usually inactive. What actually that repetitive DNA is? Transcriptionally inactive. It cannot work. Keep that thing in your mind. Such kind of repetitive DNAs are more. This type of repeated sequences are more. Because of that reason, most of the DNA cannot work. That means 98% of the DNA cannot work. Heterochromatin, 2% of DNA is just working. Why? Because that 98% of the DNA, maximum times it is having that repetitive DNA sequences, right? So this is first term, repetitive DNA. Are you understanding this one? Repetitive DNA. Next one, satellite DNA. So here this type of repetitive DNAs, during Okay, this type of repetitive DNA during centrifugation gradient, that means, so already this term you know, centrifugation, what actually that centrifugation is. So centrifugation gradient, so what actually that centrifugation is, say for example in this test tube I have taken so many DNA pieces, fragments of DNA pieces, and I am going to rotate this test tube. If I rotate the test tube with very high speed, means heavier fragments are settled downside, medium fragments will be at upper side, and very light fragments will be present at the top. That means the 3 layers I am going to get: heavy fragments, medium fragments, light fragments, right? In the same way here also, after that centrifugation we will get a gradient. Gradient means range, heavy to medium, medium to small, like that range. So we are going to get the range. So in that range we can separate 2 DNA components. We can separate 2 DNA components. That means entire DNA can be separated into 2 components. So that 2 component means 99.9% DNA which is matching with every person. So that DNA, it is going to form one major peak. That means that gradient we are going to observe in the peak form, in the graph, in the graphical form. That is actually a technical term. Just keep one thing in your mind. So after that centrifugation we will get the gradient. Gradient means a range of the DNA pieces. So there one large peak we are going to get. So this large peak means it is bulk DNA. Bulk DNA means that major DNA. So that is a 99.9% of the DNA. And in the same way we are going to get one small peak. In that gradient we are going to get the small peak. That small peak is satellite DNA. Which DNA we are going to get? Satellite DNA. That satellite DNA is different from person to person, right? So that satellite DNA is made up of repetitive DNAs. That means it is assembly of repetitive DNAs. Repetitive DNAs assembly. So that usually forms a satellite DNA, right? So in the satellite DNA we are having 2 kinds. In the satellite DNA we are having 2 types. One is microsatellite DNA. Next one is mini satellite DNA. Microsatellite DNA and mini satellite DNA. 2 portions we are going to make in the satellite DNA. What actually that satellite DNA is made up of? Satellite DNA is made up of repetitive DNA. Repetitive DNA means this kind of DNAs. But here I am just shown the three nucleotide sequence, TAA. The 3 nucleotides are repeated many times, but sometimes it may be 100 nucleotide sequence repeated many times. Sometimes 1000 nucleotide sequences repeated many times. Whatever it is, such kind of repeated DNAs will form satellite DNA. In the satellite DNA we are having 2 forms: microsatellite DNA, mini satellite DNA. Then how these DNAs, why we are going to make the separation here means on the basis of 3 points here. On the basis of 3 points. The first one, ATGC ratio. ATGC. What actually these 2 are? A and T. A and T, purines. Next one, pyrimidines. Purine with pyrimidine ratio or purine with pyrimidine ratio. Purine pyrimidine ratio in the repetitive DNAs. in the repetitive DNAs, purine pyrimidine ratio is how actually that ratio is. Say for example here, let me consider TAA, right? 2 adenine, 1 thymine, 2:1. The ratio is 2:1. Or if I consider like this, 1 thymine, 2 adenine, or 1:2. 2:1. 2:1. Suppose if GC sequences are present means, then we can consider that ratio. Now the ratio is 2:1. That means in the repetitive DNAs, the ratio of the purine and pyrimidine is 2:1. Now that ratio is fixed for one person and changing with another person. That ratio is changing with another person. So that thing they are going to count. First thing. Second thing, in this satellite DNA, they are going to check the length of a sequence. What they are going to check next? Length. Length of a sequence. Now here the length is small, just 3 nucleotides. Sometimes it may be 100 nucleotides one sequence, 100. That means length is large. 3 nucleotide small, that sequence is small length. That means length of the sequence they are going to match. Next one. So length of the sequence. Next that purine pyrimidine ratio. And last one, they are going to check the copy number. Already I have told you what actually that copy number is. So here the copy number is 4. That copy number is again changing from person to person. Say for example, 2 persons are present, A and B. In the A person DNA, nucleotide sequences are TAA, 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 TAA. So these nucleotide sequences are repeated 10 times in the A person DNA. In the B person DNA, the same sequences are repeated 20 times. Here 10 times, here 20 times. Here the copy number is 10, here the copy number is 20. So that copy number is changing from person to person. Which copy number? Whose copy number? Repetitive DNA's copy number. So on the basis of copy number, on the basis of length of that sequence, and on the basis of purine pyrimidine ratio, so satellite DNA is divided into 2 types: microsatellite DNA and mini satellite DNA. Yes, that is one thing, right? The first one what we observed, repetitive DNA. That repetitive DNA, next it is going to form satellite DNA. That condensed form is satellite DNA. In the satellite DNA, we are going to divide 2 types, micro and mini. So on these 3 points, they are going to divide the satellite DNA into 2 kinds. Okay, next one. Okay, before going to that one, let us observe fourth one, VNTR. VNTR means variable number of tendon repeats. VNTR, variable number of tendon repeats. So short form we will call it as a VNTR. Now the question will be arise, what actually that VNTR is? Just I told you, repetitive DNAs, those are very unique for one DNA to another DNA. They are very specific for particular DNA, or those repetitive DNAs are very specific or unique for particular person, cannot match with another person. So such kind of repetitive DNAs, from person to person they are going to show the variation. How those are going to show the variation? In a purine pyrimidine ratio they are going to show the variation. In the length of that sequence they are going to show the variation, and in the copy number those are going to show the variation. So that variation we will refer it as variable number of tendon repeats. That means in the DNA fingerprinting we are going to majorly focus on this VNTR. On what? VNTR. So VNTR they are going to match. If the VNTR means specific sequences, DNA sequences, and those DNA sequences are nothing but repeated DNA sequences, and those sequences cannot match with another person. Why? Because of these three reasons. In these three forms they are going to change. So such kind of DNA pieces, VNTR, right? And VNTR, it is the part of satellite DNA. VNTR, it is the part of satellite DNA. So satellite DNA, it is the combined or condensed form of repetitive DNA, right? Next, the very interesting one. Next one we are having DNA polymorphism. What is the next one? DNA polymorphism. So this is, I think we need to focus more on this one. Polymorphism. What actually morphism? Morphology. What actually that morphology is? External characters, studying of external characters or external features. That means how that thing is looking like, whether that person is there, or whether a character is there, or any one part is there, or the DNA is there. DNA means DNA sequences. Now in the DNA, in the 2.2 meter DNA, the DNA sequences are going to show the variation. So that variation observed in many forms. That variation is observed in many forms. That means polymorphism. So that polymorphism occurred in DNA. Okay. Now tell me. Now let me tell you with one small example. Okay. Now here I have taken a segment of DNA, one piece of DNA. Now imagine this piece of DNA is one gene. Now this piece of DNA is one gene. So how we can consider this one as a gene? From this piece of the DNA, one RNA should be produced. From that RNA we should get a protein. From that protein we should get one character. Then if the character get produced means then it is one gene, right? Now we are having one gene. So in the genetics chapter already we have learned gene, it is available in two allelic forms usually. One gene is available in two allelic forms. Alleles, already we have learned alleles. So gene available in allelic forms. Say for example, for height character we are having two alleles, capital T, small t. For seed shape we are having two alleles, capital R, small r, round and wrinkle. For color we are having yellow and green, capital Y, small y. That means usually one gene will be having two alleles. Now let us consider this is the capital T allele or capital T gene. This is present in one person DNA. In the next person DNA, same gene is present. Why? Because that person also human being. But thing is, that person is short. Why that? Now I am giving just one general example. Why that person is short means, in that person, the same gene is present, same sequences are present, but any one allele is changed. Sorry, any one base pair is changed. Now let me change this T. Right? Now I am going to change here. So now I am going to change this T by the G. Then automatically it becomes C. Remaining all sequences are same. That means this is the same gene. This is the same gene. Gene is not changed. Only one sequence is changed. Or sometimes more than one base pairs may be changed. Now this becomes another allele. So let me call this allele as a small t. Right? Now one gene available in two forms, dominant form, recessive form. Now this two expression I will call it as dimorphism. What I will call it as dimorphism. 1 and 2 available forms are there. That means one character available in two forms. Why? Because one gene is available in two allelic forms, capital T and small t. Now I will call it as a dimorphism. But here what is the term? Polymorphism. That means more than two allelic forms. One gene is available in more than two allelic forms. So then we will use that term polymorphism. That means many allelic forms it is available. So this is one thing. This is regarding the character, right? Now come to this point. 99.9% of DNA is transcriptionally inactive. That means that portion of the DNA cannot produce the protein. That means that cannot express in any characters. Which percent of DNA? Sorry, not 99%. 92% of DNA. 92% of DNA cannot work. So now in that DNA many repetitive DNAs are there. In the 92% of DNA, what actually the 92% of DNA is? Heterochromatin. In that heterochromatin 92% of DNA which cannot work. So in that DNA many repetitive DNAs are present. So in those repetitive DNAs, there also mutation occurs. And because of that mutation, base pair sequence will change. And that change in the base pair sequence in the repetitive DNA cannot match in between two persons. That cannot be matched in between two persons. Then this one we will refer it as DNA polymorphism. What we will refer it as? DNA polymorphism. So here DNA polymorphism means inheritable variation in any population with a high frequency. Yes. Now I have given a definition for that. DNA polymorphism. So DNA polymorphism means inheritable variation in any population with a high frequency. What actually this meaning is? Just I told you, variation is change in the DNA or change in the base pairs. So that variation occurs because of mutation, and that mutation occurs in somatic cell or gametic cell. That means normal body cells or germ cell. When that change, when that mutation, when that variation in the DNA occurs inside the germ cells, that means gametes, sperm or egg, then that variation is transferred to the next generation. That variation again transferred to its next generation, again transferred to its next generation. But thing is, of course the variation is passing from generation to generation, but thing is that DNA is present in 92% of DNA. That DNA cannot work. That means such kind of change of DNA goes on accumulating from generation to generation, then it becomes bulk DNA. Major portion of the DNA. So right, and in that DNA, in that repetitive DNAs, some sequences are changing. That changing pattern we will refer it as a high frequency. That means changing the pattern, whether it is changing more or less, whether changing from generation to generation, those sequences by the mutation, whether those sequences are changing more or less. So that is high frequency. So inheritable variation, passing variations in the population with high frequency means many times those are changing, then that leads to polymorphism, that leads to many possibilities in the gene, that leads to many possibilities in any piece of the DNA, then we will refer it as a DNA polymorphism. Simple, just okay. Little bit the thing is somehow little bit clumsy. After completion of this video, again we watch once again this video, you will come to know. So here red color is there, right? Just to the red color, it is a very dark red color. To that red color I am going to add water and I am going to dilute it. Then red color becomes dull red color, little dull red color. Okay. Then to the same red color I am going to add a slight yellow color, little bit yellow color. Then slightly it becomes a pink color, light pink color. Then to the same color I am going to add still white color, then it becomes a pale pink color. Then to that one only I am going to add the blue color, then it becomes a dark red, very dark red, that means brown color. See here, just keeping the red, I am changing small composition, then the tone of the red color is changing. That tone of the red color is changing. We are getting different varieties of red color. In the same way, in one piece of the DNA, how the mutation is occurring, how the base pairs are changing. So in that way, this piece of the DNA, it is going to show the polymorphism. That we will refer it as a DNA polymorphism. So that DNA polymorphism in the VNTR is specific for person to person. DNA polymorphism in the VNTR, in that repetitive DNAs, that is very specific for one particular person. It cannot match with another person. Now in the DNA fingerprinting, they are going to match this kind of VNTRs. Why they are particularly considering VNTR? Why? Because this it is showing the DNA polymorphism, high degree of DNA polymorphism, this kind of VNTRs. And VNTRs are nothing but these are having the repetitive DNA sequences. And where we can get the repetitive DNA sequences? In the satellite DNA. How we can get the satellite DNA? By the centrifugation gradients we can get that one. That means we can separate the bulk DNA and satellite DNA. So in that satellite DNA we can get all these things. So these are the major points we need to keep in our mind. If you understand these terms, then we can understand how actually this DNA fingerprinting is working, right? In the next class, let us observe the methodology. That means how exactly they are going to perform the DNA fingerprinting, right? Suppose if you are not getting, suppose if the concept is little bit complicated, means once again watch the video, and along with the video once read the textbook, that starting page DNA fingerprinting, read that textbook, that concept once, right? So in the next class, let us observe the steps of DNA fingerprinting. Yes, thank you.